Cheering at pro wrestling shows in Japan is back, and 2023 is already shaping up to be a big year in the history of pro res. That's why you should listen to the Emerald Flow Show. From the Royal Road to the Green Mat, Paul and Gerard take you into the world of All Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah. Not only do we analyze events, but we examine business, who is getting over, what angles are working or not. Occasionally, we take a look at other Japanese promotions like DDT and Zero One. So if you're looking for more coverage of the world of Japanese wrestling, check out the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on all of your favorite podcast apps.
Hello there, my name's Neil David and I'm the host of Eurograps Express, the podcast exclusively dedicated to the wrestling of Europe. If it's wrestling and it happens in Europe and it's good, we talk about it. Whether it's RevPro, Progress, WXW, Passion Pro, Pro Wrestling Chaos, Pro Wrestling North, we don't care, we talk about them all. If it's good and it's exciting, I want to share it with you. We're on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Check us out on the feed, check us out on Twitter at EuroGrapsEXP, and join us for chat about European wrestling and a little bit of chat about cheese. Hopefully see you there.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Here we go! Kiss me like a love star. So I'm coming. Whoa, whoa, kimi ga kata omoi, namida no shitsure mo. Give me fire, give me that what I desire.
You're listening to the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
Welcome to episode 41 of the Emerald Flow Show. We're a podcast on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network, and you can follow us on Twitter at Emerald Flow Show. You can listen to us on all major podcast apps, and if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review, and you can go to voicesofwrestling.com/donate to donate to the show. I'm Gerard DeTroio here with Paul Vosh. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Looking forward to having a week off from work next week. So it's been a while since I've had some time off.
Perfect time to catch up on all the wrestling.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna do like a big Japan catch up while I'm off.
Yeah, and special thanks to Andrew Sinclair for filling in for a segment on the last episode. That was great.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun to get Andrew's thoughts on Noah and everything. And yeah, no, that was a ton of fun. So I'm sure whenever we'll need like an emergency co-host again, I think he's like top of the line for that one.
Absolutely. And so we've got a ton to talk about this week, and it's actually sort of like a bit of a historic week in some ways, in terms of some of the stuff we have to talk about. So we'll start with what's on top of everyone's mind. All Japan Pro Wrestling. We'll quickly touch on the Shin Kiba show on the 26th. I thought there was some really good stuff on here, like Kento versus Kazaro Suzuki.
Yeah, I really like that one because it's like I kind of didn't expect this that it was going to be like this close of a match. Like this feels like Kento kind of like fucking around a bit on like a Shin Kiba show where he's just like, no, I'm just gonna like sell for this junior for like nearly 15 minutes and then just roll up, like win by like barely escaping with a roll up. Because it was like Kotaro Suzuki like really like dominating the match.
Yeah, working the headlock and everything like that. Very simple in that way, but it was a lot of fun. What do you think of Rising Hado versus Utani?
I liked that match. I was kind of like found like the match structure interesting because again, there was like another one where like the great guy was the guy that was like dominating the match, right? Like it was like Utani
Yeah.
basically. Like it was literally like Hayato like surviving until the end, until like the time limit expired basically. But like Utani was like he had him in like a what did he have him in? Like he had him in a hold and it was like literally like Hayato was like seconds away from tapping out and then the time limit expired. So I thought that was interesting.
And then we had Astronauts in Ryo Inoue versus Naruki Doi, Naoki Tanizaki, and Hokuto Omori, which went to another draw. This time, instead of 15, it was 20. I thought this was pretty good as well.
Yeah, I thought this was a banger. I actually went 4 stars on this one. I thought this was awesome.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised no one took the fall here, but I guess it sort of makes sense
Yeah.
in the booking.
Yeah, like I think this one makes a lot more sense now than it did in the moment. Because like watching it back, like knowing that like Inoue was gonna challenge for the junior title, I think it became very clear that like that what this whole match was about like putting over Inoue without yet giving
Yeah.
away that giving him the win yet. Because I think it was important that he got the
Right.
win on the next show and not here. But like he got
Mhm.
close, he got super close, and the crowd like
Yeah.
felt that as well. Like when he put that armbar on Doi, like that crowd like went ballistic.
Yeah. And then Suwama and Daisuke Sekimoto versus the Saitos basically went the way you'd think it would,
Yeah.
to a double countout. And that's what would have happened even if Shuji Ishikawa wasn't injured.
Yeah, yes, basically, yeah. And we also had
It's-
Manabu Soya going back to like being a young boy because of things that we're gonna
Oh,
talk
yes.
about much later in the show.
Yeah. But of course he won his third match this year against Takao Omori?
They really want to make sure that Get Wild is dead.
Yeah. And what do you think of the main event? Yuji Nagata, Master Wato, and Ryuki Honda versus the Aoyagis and Yoshitatsu.
I mean, I basically it made me very happy that like we have Atsuki Aoyagi in all Japan and not Master Wato because it's just like Atsuki is just like Master Wato but like better in every single thing. Like they even have similar haircuts, I realized.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Atsuki
Just
just did
different
all of
colors.
Master Wato's stuff, but he was much better at it than him.
I think Wato's pretty good. I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, it was good, but I don't know, not great, I guess. Yoshitatsu in there and everything like that. And then so we move on to the big one at Korakuen Hall in front of 1,047, which is up. Paul, do you think that's a little disappointing considering the main event?
I mean,
Or
I'm kind of
is
hard
it just
pressed.
your take on?
Yeah, kind of hard pressed to really judge it because of how they've been drawing recently, and since this is up, kind of hard pressed to call it a disappointing number. But I think I'm really curious because, like I said, my theory has been that like the hardcores have been pissed about all the outsiders like holding all the titles, especially the Triple Crown. So I wonder, it now being on Yuma, if we see a reverse of the trend. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, big mistake for them to miss this show.
Yes, I mean that's the other thing. If you're pissed about like outsiders like holding like the Triple Crown and then you like don't go to like the one where Yuma wins the title, I mean that's on you at that point.
Yeah. So first up, we had Rising Hayato, Ryo Inoue, and Soma Watanabe defeating Hikaru Sato, Dan Tamura, and Ryo Kawamura in 9:59 with a chicken wing arm lock from Inoue on Tamura. This is a pretty good opener. Kawamura sort of not always great, but sort of kept hidden in this, and I thought it was really good. And the crowd popped huge for that finish when he submitted Dan.
Like I think that's like the first pin or right like victory straight up that Inoue has ever gotten, right? Because I'm trying to think if there's anything that he's ever won.
He beat Hokuto.
Oh yeah, but that was before he even got gear, right? And that was yeah.
Yeah. Didn't he beat Dan before too? For some reason I thought he did, but yeah, so that was a good opener. And then we go to All Japan versus Black Generation International. Kotaro Suzuki and Hartley Jackson defeated Yoshitatsu and Black Mensure in 7-12 with a Tiger Driver from Suzuki on Mensure. It was what it was.
Yeah, it was fine.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like I feel like Hartley Jackson was good, but not so much anymore.
No,
Or was he always bad?
I don't. I think I think if it used to be if you put him in there with the right opponent, he could have like a good match, but he was never like a
Yeah, I swear I've
great
seen him in
worker.
good matches,
Yeah,
but it's been a while.
he's pretty immobile at
And
this
then
point.
and then next up we had Hokuto Omori and Naoki Tanizaki defeating Ryuki Honda and Masao Hanabata in 4 minutes and 26 seconds with an elbow, like a rolling elbow from Omori on Honda. And there's a few things to say about this match. Honda has been announced as having a mild concussion. Honda is still on all of the shows coming.
Yeah.
What did you think there? Because, look, I don't know what the protocol is when you're a wrestler or anything like that, but there was a lot of time where Daisuke Kamabayashi could have called the match but didn't
He
before they
absolutely
went to
should
that
have.
finish.
Yeah. Like here's the thing. Like if this is like a work, which I
Yeah.
almost like I don't know. Like the whole thing felt very weird. Like I definitely.
Yeah.
I like especially early on I thought it was real like but him still being on all the shows now makes me like kind of like reconsider it because if it is not a work this is like grossly like unprofessional and dangerous what they did here
Yeah. Yeah.
because
For sure.
because it's basically like he literally like tells Hoku like it's like you have massage like so okay so like to sum it up what happens basically Omori hits Honda with an elbow on the apron and then Honda like falls down and like rolls to the floor and he's kind of like not really moving all that much and then I don't know like the match just kind of stops and then like Hanabata comes over and he like I think he's like basically like him and Tanizaki come over and then Tanizaki tries to roll like Honda back in the ring and Hanabata's basically like no like he's out like you can't do that like we need to stop the match and then Tanizaki just still rolls him into the ring and then the ref like checks on him and he's like oh he's out but then like Omori tries to keep the match going because the ref doesn't stop the match and then the ref
Mhm.
pulls him off and at that point I'm like okay is he calling off the match now and then they never do and then they like
Yeah.
start doing moves to Honda and then I'm like what the fuck is happening here and then they stretcher him out
Mhm.
so I'm just like
Yeah.
I don't know like if this is a work then I don't think it worked. I think it kind of worked, but not really because he just confused everyone. Like it did make
Yeah.
Omori look like a killer in that case, but like if it's not, this was just like really gross.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is I thought Honda was getting the next title shot too.
Yeah. No, but
But
I
it
don't
turns
think
out
that
to
was
be
happening. Like I don't think they like readjusted that quickly. Like I do
Yeah,
feel
you think it was
yeah.
Omori all the time? Yeah.
Yeah, because that makes me like reconsider where they always wanted to do some sort of finish like that. And again, I don't know if this was just Honda selling it so well that we thought he was actually hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know. This has gotten like weirder because he isn't pulled from shows. But yeah, I don't know.
And so next up, we had the Voodoo Murders team of Jun Saito, Rei Saito, Kono, and Toshizu defeating Suwama, Satoshi Kojima, Kaz Hayashi, and Minoru Tanaka. Good old like 2009 All Japan Army here. In 8:51 when Jun pinned Suwama after the Psycho Break. And then Taru got in there and they cut a promo and vowed to destroy Suwama or something along those lines.
I mean, this literally like I mean, if you like minus the Citus, this literally is a match that like probably happened in some form or fashion like around that time in All Japan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it would have been Voodoo Murderers as well. Like that's even like it's like what like no wait it's like wait is was Kasayashi ever in Voodoo Murderers?
No.
So he's like the
no,
only
but
one
the
in
other
this
three
match
were.
that was never in the Voodoo Murderers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I
so
did find
this
interesting
continues.
was that Suwama is the guy that took the pin here.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going. It's going somewhere, right?
And I mean, I
Maybe
assume so. Maybe.
Suwama gets his win back in the Royal Road tournament.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's something you can do where you do that as like as like a quarter, like a semifinal or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, I mean it was what it was.
No, it wasn't a great match, but
Um,
also like they kept it short,
no.
so whatever.
Yeah. And then Kento Miyahara and T-Hawk defeated Tomoaki Hanma and Ren Ayabe. Hanma subbing for the injured Ishikawa. In 12:52, when Miyahara used the blackout knee on Ayabe, yeah, it was fine. I thought Ayabe looked a little better here than he has recently. And Hanma is Hanma these days,
Yeah.
I guess.
It was fun, like kind of see Kento do some comedy spots with Hanma, like because he's actually pretty good at that. But yeah, there wasn't really all that much to this match. I did like that Miyahara didn't even need the shutdown for this. Like he basically just pinned him with the
Right.
blackout. Like I like it when they like vary it
Mhm.
up like that, but it's just like this guy.
Might be also awkward to. Might also be awkward to perform.
I
doing
mean, he's
shut
hit it
down
on
a guy like
Ishikawa,
that.
right? So I don't think
Yeah,
when
that's true.
Ayabe should be an issue here. If you can hit it on Shuji Ishikawa, I think you can pretty much hit it on like almost anyone.
Yeah. And then Kento certainly gave T-Hawk shine too.
Yeah.
He did not completely hog all of the spotlight, actually.
No, which I guess it makes more sense. Like I think they're really like trying to build these great guys so that. Okay, do you actually think All Japan is getting a cut of the gate? Because they're certainly doing a
what?
lot of work putting like these great guys over on these shows recently.
They'll probably get something out of it. They've gotten a fair amount out of it too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're champion jobbed.
True. Yeah, I
So.
mean they dropped the champion in both in the Champion Carnival final and in a Triple Crown match. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next up, for the PWF World Junior Heavyweight title, El Lindemann defeated Atsuki Aoyagi in 12 minutes and 25 seconds with a German suplex hold to bring Aoyagi's second reign to a somewhat brief conclusion after one defense. I was taken aback by this result, actually. It was kind of surprising, although Lindemann's pretty protected and great, even more than T-Hawk. I mean, I thought it was good, but I was kind of disappointed. I thought it was going to be better.
Yeah,
It's like Lindemann just like handling him for a while.
Yeah, I was also a little disappointed with the match as well. Like I thought it was good, but not amazing. And yeah, I was also kind of surprised with the finish. I mean, I think it's fine, like because I think Atsuki actually is like, I mean, maybe saying Teflon is a bit much, but I think he's like solidified in his position enough where like stuff like this doesn't hurt him.
Yeah. Well, I hope this just doesn't end with Atsuki winning the title back.
Yeah,
from
that
Lindemann.
would be like I don't think he should like win it back. Yeah.
It's time to go with Hayato.
Yeah. Because otherwise
he's
just
proven
tell
it.
the exact same story with Atsuki like back to back because he literally just told the story with Doi.
Well, and this is the same thing they did with Koji Iwamoto too.
Yeah.
Lose to the outsider, beat the outsider to win the title back.
Yeah. But he was also kind of the only guy at the time, so like it's not like they really had a choice.
Yeah, that's true too. No. Yeah, I think they should have Hayato win it at the Yoyogi show in September.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good spot to do it, and you can put in some like Lindemann defenses in between.
Do you pivot and go with Hayato as the junior ace? I've been thinking about this. I mean, he's up there. I mean, the reactions he's getting.
I don't know, like because to me, I think Atsuki is still like a guy that feels more like an ace. Like you can definitely like push high, like you can definitely like make him like the 1B to Atsuki's. I think Atsuki should still be the 1A.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like this is actually like okay, like I feel like this is actually a similar situation to what New Japan had with Okada and Naito.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Atsuki is more like the champion guy, like more like the ace guy, and Hayato is like the like super popular like guy like just underneath that also sells like a shit ton of merch and gets like big reaction. But I feel like Atsuki to me is the guy that you should go with as the ace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. I think it's time to go give Hayato a title run.
Oh no, you absolutely like. I think he absolutely should be the guy to beat Lindemann to win the title. Like, and I feel like you also give him like a good long reign as well, and then I think he can like lose it to Atsuki as well after that. Or like if you have like Inoue or Dan ready or whatever. But like, I still feel like Atsuki to me should be like the top guy in the division still.
Okay. And then in the main event for the Triple Crown, Yuma Aoyagi defeated Yuji Nagata in 21 minutes and 18 seconds with the Fool to become the new Triple Crown champion, the 70th in history. First things first, this had an incredible amount of crowd heat.
Mm-hmm.
They were all into Yuma, and I thought this was. I went 4.25. I mean, I didn't think it quite hit match of the year level thing or anything like that. But Nagata was amazing. The crowd was amazing, and the last few minutes were amazing. I liked how Yuma blocked that high kick that knocked out Kento in the Kento versus Nagata match that led to Kento losing. And when he blocked that kick, I was like, oh, he's winning. He's winning. And and the crowd went wild. And also, it was very nice. They chanted Nagata's name after the match in a nice show of respect.
Yeah. No, and I think that might also make sense that like Yuma like bowed to like Nagata as well, like after the match. But yeah, no, I feel like that felt like well earned. But then he like moved on quickly and was like, okay, now it's all about me though. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I already had the feeling that he was gonna win. Basically, like like that video package they did. I feel like
if he would look like a big. He would look like a big geek if he lost after that video package showing him all of his previous Triple Crown losses.
Yeah, exactly. And also I feel like you could see it on his face when he came out.
Yeah.
Because he had that face
For
of
sure.
like, okay, let's go, this is it, basically, like look on his face.
Yeah. And and then Hokuto Omori came out and challenged him.
Yeah, which that's something I'm looking forward to as well. So no, but I feel like this is like an important moment, right? Like I feel like this is probably like the biggest or not biggest triple crown win, but like I think this like for like the future of the promotion, this is going to be the most
Absolutely.
important triple crown win since the first time Kento won the title.
I completely agree with you. And Kento won the Triple Crown under far more poor circumstances.
Oh yeah, no, like that.
And managed to make something of it. And then so that match will happen on July 22nd in Matsu, which at the Shimane Kunibiki Messe Large Exhibition Hall. First time that they've ever had a Triple Crown match in Matsu, which is I don't know how large this is. I would assume it's got to be at least 500 people. It's one of those big exhibition halls.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that will draw.
I mean, I'm curious as well, but like because I feel like that's really like the important thing right now. It's like because now it's kind of like, okay, let's see what Yuma can actually do, because I feel like they need that definitely, because I don't know, like obviously it's better for all Japan if Kento sticks around, but
oh, absolutely.
But like,
you think he's leaving?
Okay, I mean, I kind of want you to take off your like All Japan fan hat for like a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I've thought about this, yeah.
So, right, if you're Noah, like just imagine you run like Pro Wrestling Noah, right? And you need to do something to like revitalize the promotion a bit, because like it's been solid, but it's very clear like difference before the Muta retirement show and after the Muta retirement show. And just constantly, anytime he pops up on your shows, he gets massive crowd reactions. Like, and you have money. Like, that's the one thing you definitely have right now, is you have money, whereas a lot of other promotions are struggling right now because you have money regardless of how many people you actually draw at the moment. Like, it's somewhat irrelevant for you at the moment. But you do want to obviously improve your drawing, because that just puts you on better footing. So, like, the obvious play that you need to make here is, like, you take a big bag and you hand that over to Kento Miyahara.
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. I agree.
And, like, this feels like the moment as well for him to go as well, because now there's, like, if Yuma works out as champion, then, like, he probably can like leave and like feel like it, because otherwise I feel before for him it was also the feeling like if I leave now the promotion just dies. Like I don't want to be like responsible for killing All Japan.
Right. Well, let me say this. You're Noah with that kind of backing. You're just gonna leave the Aoyagi brothers sitting on the table.
I mean, that's another.
You're gonna leave. you're also going to leave Yuma Anzai. You're going to leave a good, like, imagine if you took Kento and everyone under 30 from All Japan. You would like
I'm gonna do this
you would have
again.
like an incredible roster. Well, no, but I'm just saying. I mean, Kento obviously is a very good, important piece that could draw you, but you could be set up for years down the line if you took every Kento and everyone under 30 in the company.
Oh no, absolutely. But at that point, you might as well just buy the entire promotion. Like,
Yeah, exactly. You could buy the company, and why not? They could afford. I mean, how much could that company possibly be worth?
not a lot because they don't really have a lot of assets besides like talent
dojo.
contracts. The dojo talent contract,
Yeah.
and that's about it. I guess
Yeah,
a bus,
exactly.
but like I think like I think Cyber Agent can shoot them enough money to buy a bus. I mean, they don't even need to buy the bus. Like if you just
Yeah.
buy all the talent, you don't need to buy the bus. You just like do you even need to buy the dojo? Like if you just buy out all of the talent contracts and you can like
And you might want the trademarks.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, you want the trademarks as well, and then but yeah, I mean like but yeah, I mean that would be like something in like the history where like it just all of this ends with like Noah buying all Japan. That's like that feels like a weird like I don't know like that's like a like roundabout like history thing in a way I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
That-
But
like if you don't go that route, like if it's literally just like they just want one guy from the promotion, right? Then like you have to go for Kento.
oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's impossible at all. Yeah.
Because like
But
the
we'll
other
see where this
because the
goes.
other one as well because like the Super J-Cast guys brought that up when I recorded with them was
Yep.
like what about New Japan? Because
Why wouldn't? Yeah, but New Japan. Well, first of all, New Japan is doing their youth thing
Yeah,
now. I don't think
exactly.
they need Kento.
I mean that's what I said as well, but they're also like well they basically like still like he's still a big star and he's like someone that like they can also use as like a guy to like to put over the young guys as well.
That's true too.
But again, my counter to that was, well, yeah, but like, what about in that case, if you can do like, do you want to go to New Japan and put over the young guys, or do you want to be the guy
Right.
that goes to Noah and manages to kind of like turn
Yeah.
that promotion around?
Yeah, exactly. And he'll be on top longer in Noah.
Yeah. And if he's made up, and he's obviously like made up with Nakajima because that was always the thing that was stopping that from happening.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not an issue anymore.
No, it's not. And well, they're gonna have a match
Yeah.
and everything like that.
And they might
so,
sell out Kurikan for that.
Yeah. Well, I would hope so, honestly. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a very real possibility. I don't have any inkling or senses of it, but I guess we'll see where Kento's direction is like in the next few months.
Yeah.
Will give us a feeling,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, because he's still like the tag champion now, obviously, and everything. But yeah, if he's like, yeah, we will see. Like, I feel like we probably get like a better feeling for that. Yeah, as we get closer to like contract season at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so just a couple of notes. I think we went over this last time, but the Evolution has that match. And then on the 23rd of July, our Evolution is that show on the 8th. Nothing too major, but I'm sure it's going to be like, you got another like Hikaru Sato, Dan Tamura, and Suwama versus Jun and Rei and Toshizo. Kento Miyahara and Yuma Aoyagi versus Yuji Nagata and Ryuki Honda. Honda still announced that show. Shuji Ishikawa versus Yuma Anzai. Both men injured, but both men still on the show. I don't know what the hell's going on with these injuries in this company. Maybe they're like, we've had too many injuries. You just got to keep working.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's Japan, like, so that actually is unfortunately a possibility.
Yeah. And then on the 23rd in Osaka Edion Arena number 2, you've got Kento and Yuma versus Minoru Suzuki and Hokuto Omori. I could actually see them winning the tag titles.
Yeah, because Omori is definitely like he's obviously going to lose the Triple Crown challenge.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like the right spot for Omori to be in as well, is to like to be a tag champion. I think that's like something that is like the perfect spot for him.
I mean, we're heading into the later half of the year. Sometimes they put on a team for other teams to chase through the real world tag league. Then you got Ryo Inoue versus El Lindemann. You've got Suwama and Yuma Anzai versus Shuji Ishikawa and Ren Ayabe. Yuji Nagata and Reiki Honda versus the Saitos. And Takao Mori and Black Mensure versus the Bodyguard and Izanagi. Paul, I'm going to be out and be bold and say anything less than 800 is a disappointment on this show.
Yeah, because they did actually load that one up fairly well.
Yeah. I think we'll see, but I mean, you got Minoru Suzuki in the main event, big junior match, or at least with Al Lindemann. Inoue's not really a name, but he's over. So yeah, I'm expecting a good number for that show. And then on August 6th, they announced some cards for Chiba Makuhari Messe International Exhibition Hall number 7. I looked this up. This is a very large exhibition hall.
Like New Japan runs that venue.
Yeah. And so we've got some 2AW versus All Japan matches. Kento Miyahara versus Ayato Yoshida.
Who looks very different from the last time I saw him.
Yeah, he's a heel now. Basically. And then we've got Hokuto Mori versus Kengo Mashimo, which I think will be interesting to see who goes over in that one.
Yeah. I mean, that one might end in like a title, that might end in like a tag title challenge, maybe.
Yeah. And then we have Takao Mori versus Satoshi Kojima. And then we have Suji Ishikawa, Chihiro Hashimoto, and Yu versus Taishi Takizawa, Maya Yukihi, and Ayame Sasamura. I can't believe they're putting Taishi Takizawa in an intergender match.
Yeah, that is a choice.
And we have Atsushi Onita X and Double X versus Unagi Sayaka X and Double X.
Like, is this happening? Like, isn't Onita injured again?
He broke his wrist.
Yeah.
Paul, he broke his wrist on a DDT show from a kick from Yukio Sakaguchi. And do you know why he broke his wrist? Because he was putting his arm up to block a kick from like his lower chest area where he had that surgery.
God damn it. Maybe it's okay to take time off. Like, it's fine. Don't have to injure yourself constantly.
I mean, Onita's clearly one of those guys that blew all of the money he made.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I don't know how legit this is, but there are claims that he was making $2 million a year at the peak of FMW.
I mean, given the numbers they were drawing, yeah.
Yeah, and given the amount of money that the promotion wasn't getting because it was all going to Onita.
Yes, exactly.
And also, he was, God knows, making how much money for those matches that he did in New Japan, like against Choshu and Muda. Anyway, the point is he's blown all his money, and that's why I think he's on this indie grind still.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why he brings that back FMW every other year in a new garb, and then he finds a new money mark to start a new FMW, and once that money mark runs out of money, then
he's gonna die.
Oh, that's actually a fairly decent chance of that happening. I hope it's not a show that airs live.
Yeah. And then on August 27th, at the Royal Road Tournament Finals in Nagoya, Saki Akai will be appearing, I guess, as part of her retirement tour.
Yeah, I'm sad Saki is retiring. I really liked her. I thought she got really good.
Yes, I mean she got pretty good, yeah. But I mean, from my understanding, she sort of started pro wrestling as I just want to do it once, but then sort of became a full-time DDT person. So, yeah, I would assume. Well, I don't know what they'll do with that, if they'll put the Evolution girls in with her or anything like that.
I feel like that is probably something they would want to do. I think that makes a lot of sense to put her in there with them.
Yeah,
because you're not going to get another chance of doing that. So.
Yeah. So that is all Japan. Paul, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, look
where things are going.
I mean, I like where things. I mean, they made the obvious but correct choice, and how often have we been talking about All Japan not doing that in the past? held just like while this show has existed just in the last year. Like this time last year was when Suwama beat Jake Lee
Oh
for
yes,
the
that's right.
Triple
In
Crown,
July
and
he did.
just the change in tone in just 1 year, where like we go from that, which was arguably like one of the worst decisions they've made in the past years, because I think it actually hurt. Like I thought they did it. Like I think they did that to like help the anniversary show, but I think it actually really hurt the anniversary show because it just put this like black
Yes.
cloud around the entire promotion. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
this is like the complete difference now, where like it's you finally put it on Yuma Aoyagi, and he's like the youngest ever Triple Crown champion as well. Like I think we should mention that too.
Yes.
Like I think that's
No, he's not.
something.
No, he's not.
He's not.
Kento was younger
Oh, Kento was younger when he won it. Okay.
by a year.
Ah, damn it. Okay. But still,
But
yeah.
couple things. First of all, Yuma made the cover of Shoe Pro with all his belts.
Yes. Oh yeah, him wearing all of his belts looks awesome too. Like that's
Also,
so cool.
Tenru Project is going
Yes.
to do the Aoyagis versus Hideki Suzuki and Hikaru Sato for the United National Tag
Yeah,
Team titles.
we need to get our hands on that footage somehow.
Yes, for sure. But Yuma Aoyagi is the first post Wrestle One Split dojo graduate of All Japan to win the Triple Crown.
Yeah. Like this literally, like I know they like that's the weird thing where like they branded like the Otawacho as like new generation, and then all of the new
Yeah.
generation guys lost. Whereas like
Yeah.
this is like the actual like new generation. Like this is the show that you should have branded as that, because all of the like new
Yeah.
generation guys won. If you just look up and down the card, like Inoue won his match, Hokuto Omori won his match and like challenged for the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Jun Saito won his
Yep.
match. You know, like
Yep.
it's like all top to bottom. It's like new guys like taking over, like the next generation, like finally finally replacing the old generation, which just
Yeah.
partially because of the Wrestle One split hung around for way longer than they should have. So yeah,
Yep,
no, I
for
think
sure.
I think this is really like this is a new era, and I think nothing more like really like epitomizes that than like Yuma Aoyagi, as you said, being like the first like post Wrestle One split, like where like it feels like All Japan has finally managed to like get past it now. Like it took a while for them to actually get past that happening, but I think they finally like moved past it now.
Oh, and wait, and before you at us on Twitter, Jake Lee debuted in 2011.
Yeah. He doesn't count.
No. So yeah, I mean it's a new era. I hope they don't screw this up, because they may panic if some numbers come in that they don't like.
But I feel like in
But I feel like-
general the numbers are like I feel like right now is also the moment to do this, because like
Oh yeah. Well, also if they panic now, the belt will go back on Kento and not Suwama.
yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah, so that's one advantage of being in the new era. Suwama is definitely now just
No.
a mid carder.
Yeah, he will I think he will still get Triple Crown challenges, but I don't think he will win it again. Like he will maybe get like 1, 2,
No.
maybe 3 more. Okay, 3 actually feels generous. I feel like 1 or 2 more challenges and then he's probably done.
I'm okay with him still being a world tag team champion if it's
Mhm.
with like Anzai.
Yeah, I feel like that's actually something they could like if for example like they go with like Omori and Suzuki, and as I said they like build someone up with like the real world tag league to like challenge them. Like I feel like Anzai and Suwama beating Omori and Suzuki at the New Year's show, I think is actually something they could do.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's probably the right direction. It's probably there was injuries and the interpromotional stuff. So I think the tag titles are probably not exactly going what was planned out
No.
in the beginning of the year.
No, definitely not.
So yeah, I think it's fine. Yuma had his moment where he's like he's the youngest 5-crown king, beating
Oh, yeah.
Terry Gordy was the previous at like 29 or something
Yeah.
in 1990.
Yeah.
So he's now the youngest 5-crown king. So that is also that, right? Another sort of
Accolade in his
historical
feather,
thing
yeah.
he's done. Yep, feather in his cap. So that's right, and I guess we'll see. It all depends up with what they do with Kento. from here on out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming if Kento's putting Yuma over in a Triple Crown match during this reign, right?
I would feel so, like, unless
It would be such a
that would be
it
weird.
would be such a momentum killer. The only person I think that can really beat Yuma for this Triple Crown without Yuma feeling like a geek is Ashino.
Yeah, and only that after, like, basically,
Yeah,
like, on
he's
the
got to
New,
have
like, I think Yuma has to hold this title until the New Year show, at the very least.
I think that December 31st shows a good spot for Ashino
That
to
too,
win
like
it
the
if they
Yoyogi
still
show.
have him in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who win now? What do you think of Kento winning the Royal Road and then him doing that match at Yoyogi and Yuma winning in the September
Yeah,
Yoyogi?
I could see that happening. I think really, like, the two people I could see, like, winning the Royal Road, Kento and Suwama, because I don't think it
Yeah, I
really,
was actually just
yeah.
going to say Suwama. And they haven't announced the Royal Road participants, which I'm a little surprised
Yeah, I
at,
wonder if they
if I'm
might.
honest.
So that makes me think that maybe there is a chance that Shino's in it, because they're, like, waiting to see if he can get cleared or not.
Yeah. Yep. Well, also, I mean, who knows? Because Anzai's not going to be in it. There's injuries. Maybe they are trying to find, like, doing some dealings. Like, okay, will you put this guy over to these outsiders or whatever, you know?
They're like, okay, T-Hawk,
But
who can we drop you to?
yes, exactly. And so that is All Japan Pro Wrestling. A lot to look forward to in that company. But before we move on, we just have a word from our sponsor. So today's podcast is brought to you by the BetStamp app, which is helping thousands of people win at sports betting for free. The same way travelers use Google Flights or Expedia to find the best prices, bettors can now use BetStamp to do the same. When you place a bet, the odds given by a sportsbook will determine how much you can possibly win. Even when betting on the same outcome, different sportsbook will offer varying payouts, and these differences can be huge. Thankfully, BetStamp app allows you to easily line shop for the most profitable odds across all sportsbooks. You can click on any matchup and instantly see all the different odds for game lines, player props, and even futures bets. Line shopping is the simplest way to find an edge in sports betting and maximize your chances of winning long term. On average, BetStamp users win an extra $1,000 plus yearly just by line shopping. You can find the BetStamp app at the Apple iOS Store, Google Play, or through your browser at www.betstamp, that's BETSTAMP.app. To access all these benefits, sign up using promo code VOW and start your journey to successful sports betting today. And if you forget to use the code upon sign up, you can always enter our code in your BetStamp account settings afterwards. So check it out. Now we move on to Pro Wrestling Noah. I'll just start with my N1 thoughts. Pretty good lineup. I was very wrong on a number of things. But I was right Marufuji wasn't going to be in it.
Yeah.
And I was wrong about the All Japan representative, and it's Yuma Anzai, which is actually pretty smart. Because as long as he goes, like 4-3, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I feel like you could even have him lose a little bit more than that as well.
Does he get a winning record, I think, though? Yeah, because it's like 8-man blocks, right?
Yeah.
So 4-3 is my prediction for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he will end up with a, like, winning record, but, like, yeah, he definitely won't go winless. I think that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he got 6 points in the Champion Carnival. I feel like they got to have him at least at that.
Yeah, but I think it's still different if you're, like, in a different promotion. So, like,
yeah, we'll see.
I'm sure All Japan will try and protect him to some degree, but yeah, we shall see.
Other thoughts? I don't love putting Nakajima and Shiozaki in a block together so soon after they reform.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the only question mark is Lance Anoa'i. I mean, I haven't heard the greatest things about him. No. So, but otherwise, I mean, I think it's a pretty good lineup, and I think it's. I mean, I'll give them this. I mean, I think they're moving in a new direction, in a better direction. And you know, that's basically all my thoughts about it.
Yeah.
We'll see. And I would assume, I guess, Keno, Nakajima, or Shiozaki are really your top candidates to win. And probably really Keno and Shiozaki.
Yeah. I feel like you agree that that's going to be the final.
Yeah, probably. I don't think it's impossible for Nakajima to be in the finals either, because they had that 45-minute draw with Keno and Nakajima, right?
Yeah.
So that sort of sets up into that. But I mean, there's this story that Shiozaki's never won the Global League / N1, right? So
And if you want to do
now's the time to do it.
exactly, yeah, because given the state of his body, you probably want to do that now because yeah, you're not sure how much longer you can actually potentially tell that story. So you probably just do it now and then be done with it.
Yeah. But also feels like they're gonna have something to do. They're like Keno is gonna be doing something, right? I mean,
Keno?
well, we'll talk about the show.
Yeah. No,
Keno.
definitely.
Yeah. So we move on to. So I guess we'll lead into that. We move on to the Keno debut 15th anniversary match since 2008 on June 24th at Tokugen Tomoni Arena, Tokushima City Gymnasium, in front of 1,312 fans. That's decent for a Noah house show, which this basically was. A good crowd, I thought, too. So Hiroki defeated Taishi Ozawa in 5:49, basic stuff. Masakitami and Yoshiki Inamura beat Daiki Inaba and Stallion Rogers in 8:51 when Inamura used the Muso on Rogers. I thought this was solid. Ninja Mac defeated Dante Leon in 9 minutes and 28 with a Ninja Bomb, including a spot where Ninja Mac falls off the balcony and then Dante Leon jumps after him. I'll give them this. This was better than the Hayata versus Dante Leon title match.
Well, I mean that's not hard, but yes. No, I also like this one a lot more. Well, I mean it helped that this one had any kind of heat, so that definitely helped. And yeah, that spot was kind of nuts where Dante just throws Ninja Mac off the bleachers and then or off the balcony and then does a dive onto him, and that got a good pop from the crowd as well. So and they tried. I mean at the very least we can give them that they tried hard.
Yeah. And then Go Shiozaki, Katsuhiko Nakajima, Mohamed Yone, and Gaina, our big boy Gaina, defeated Saxon Huxley, Timothy Thatcher, Kazuyuki Fujita, and Shuhei Taniguchi in 13 minutes and 37 seconds when Shiozaki used a Gowan Lariat on Taniguchi. I like this. It was just a good brawl and match against, mostly big guys and everything like that.
I also
Perfect
like Fujita
sort
in
of
this match.
Yeah. It was a good way to hide Saxon and everything like that. So, and the crowd was into it. I'll give them that. Probably because of Axis. But, yeah. And then Yoshinari Ogawa, Chris Ridgway, and Daga defeated Atsushi Kotoge, Seki Yoshioka, and Junta Miyawaki in 13 minutes and 41 seconds when Daga used the Diablo Wings on Kotoge. Junta's out of his purgatory, and now Kotoge is doing a lot of jobs.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's good to see that Jota is no longer completely in the doghouse. He's still on the losing team, but he's no longer taking falls. But yeah, whatever that was,
he could have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was good actually, because it wasn't too much stinger bullshit and anything.
Yeah,
like
I know
that.
they kept that clean. I mean, I guess it helped that Eita and Hayata were in the match. So whenever those aren't in the match, then I think they generally keep it a bit more clean.
I think I don't want to overstate this, but I think Daga's been solid in Noah.
Yeah, I mean he's always
when he's not
solid.
doing
That's the thing though with Daga. Is but that's literally he's a very he's literally the gentleman's free as a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
That, but that's also the issue. But I mean, the advantage is that obviously unless he's really obvious stinger bullshit, he won't be below that. But he's also not really gonna give you anything above it either. He's just a perfectly flat line.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And then we had Ahio to Dr. Wagner Jr., Kaito Kiyomiya, Hayata, and Eita. There they are. Defeated Jake Lee, Jack Morris, Yohei, and Tadasuke in 13 minutes and 18 seconds with a double arm lock from Kiyomiya on Tadasuke. Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, we were talking about Eita and Hayata, but I mean, when you put them in with all of these guys, I thought this was actually good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also like the finish as well. But I think Kaito is actually someone that feel like should maybe lean a little bit more into like mat wrestling because he's actually good at it whenever he does it.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I really like him using like basically like the spinning double arm lock. Like he's Terry Funk, but uses an arm lock instead of the toe hold.
Yeah. For sure. We didn't talk about this because I wasn't on the show when you talked about it, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Tadasuke and Yohei losing these tag titles yet.
No, I also thought they should have kept them longer. So
Like, you got to take the titles off of good-looking guys all around the same time when Jake finally loses,
Yeah.
and Jake's clearly going to be holding on to the title till like September, probably.
yeah, and they were adding like energy as well to like the
Yeah,
undercard
for sure.
as well.
For a division that was, oh my,
Yeah.
you know.
And I mean that's the problem as well because they're just gonna go back to Hayata and Eita. Like that's the next match. Where
Yeah.
like Hayata and Eita are like on like not maybe not but like that's where this whole thing is leading. So like we're just right back to like the same kind of junior title match we've had in the past.
Exactly. And then in the main event, sort of like Keno's 15th anniversary match, the Kongo team of Keno, Masakatsu Funaki, Manabu Soya, Shuji Kondo, and Hajime Ohara defeated Naomichi Marufuji, Takashi Sugera, Kazushi Sakuraba, Amasuka, and Alejandro in 22 minutes and 7 seconds when Keno used the Enrin on Alejandro. I thought this was very good, great heat, and yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fitting end to Kongo because after the match, Keno announced a disbandment, which I think took everyone by surprise. But after a certain point, when you have a faction and you have this sort of turnover that Kongo's always had, it's probably just time to wind it down.
Yeah, I got that feeling as well when we had like the recent like basically everyone has started to leave. So I had a feeling.
Well, I mean, people have always left.
Yeah.
People have always left Kongo though.
But they weren't replacing them, basically. Basically,
No.
like in the past when people like left Kongo, then they like brought in like a new member like shortly thereafter. Basically,
Right.
like when like Nakjima left, then they like didn't replace him, and I was like, oh, okay. And then all the juniors started leaving, and then I was like, oh, okay. They might be like wrapping this up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I mean
what do
they had a good run. I thought like out of
Yeah.
like, and I mean I also like that they actually have an ending because like recently in Japan there has just been too much of a like, let's just keep the faction going because it sells merch. Like I think especially New Japan has been very guilty of that, and so I kind of like that
Yeah.
like Noah has been a bit more like, hey, let's just disband factions. Because Noah like Kongo very clearly was still selling merch. Like that Kongo shirt
Oh,
like
yeah.
just sold like hotcakes. Like if you just look around at shows, there's like so many people with that shirt.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an interesting thing to do, but which is why like I think they have big plans for Keno, because otherwise, why do you do this?
I mean, unless Keno is also kind of like going a bit more of a freelance route because he has been kind of teasing that with his promos too, and he has been taking some outside bookings, like he's taking like a few more like Dragon Gate bookings as well. So I don't know if
Yeah.
he maybe wants to like spread his wings a little bit more, because I think he might be getting at that age as well. Or I don't know if you listened
Right.
to like the Open the Voice Gate recently, where they actually like made up some trade offers for Keno, which weren't that great. It was basically, here's some like leftover trash, give us some Keno for that, and I'm like, I don't think that's gonna work well. I think the one case
No.
came up with was basically it was Eita, La Estrella, and like for like Keno and Alejandro or something like that. Where I'm like, no, that's absolutely not gonna work. It's just like why is your like trade offer like Eita's expiring contract, who's like just gonna sign with Noah afterwards anyway, and like we have Ninja Mac at home.
Yeah. Well, it's though interesting though because I feel still like they sort of lean on Keno to be like a bit of a face of the company though. Still.
Yeah. No. I mean, they definitely are, and like, yeah, like I think it would be a mistake to like let him go as well. Like, I feel like.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure, absolutely.
Because he's just like
But,
so
yeah,
like recognizable, and he is peaking as well. So that's the other reason why I would be like, why, yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But I see that possibility absolutely. It makes sense, but
It
hopefully
makes
not.
sense for him. I don't think it makes sense for Noah because
Yeah.
he sells merch, he sells tickets as well. Like that's the other reason why I'm like I kind of get it from maybe that's the thing they're doing where like maybe they're changing up his character a bit because he couldn't really
Mhm.
have a long title reign with the Kongo Keno basically because it doesn't make sense,
No.
right? Because his whole thing is like rebellion against the promotion and all of that, and he's like the underdog that gets screwed over by the promotion. Like
Screwed.
you can't have this guy hold the
Sounds
title.
like someone else.
Yeah, it sure does. But like yeah, again, another guy that doesn't really have long title reigns either. Not as short as the like Keno ones, but like somewhat similar. So I feel
Hmm.
like maybe if they like retool his character, then maybe it's like something where they're like building to him like winning the title and holding it for a bit longer, because he is a draw. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty clear, and they haven't really
Yeah.
capitalized on that at all.
No. No. Yeah. Well, it just seems like there's a couple of options you go with. I mean, I feel like you gotta like there's still stuff to do with Go, but that also feels like you know it's like Keno's time.
Hmm?
He's like peaking.
Yeah,
You know.
and because then I feel like if you want to do that, like if you do like Go versus Keno as the N1 final, and he beats him there, and then Go wins the title. But I feel like in that case, you can still run that back as like the like January 1st match.
Yeah, for sure.
Because again, they basically did that last year as well, where they ran with Keno versus Kaito, and then they still like ran that
Right.
back on January 1st anyway. So like I think like that being the N1 final wouldn't stop it from also being the January 1st match, and because like if Go wins the N1, then he has to beat like Jake, but I don't think Go is like
Mhm.
a guy you want to keep the title on for long because I don't think his body can hold up.
That's a good point. But I think you want to give Go that moment and one more title reign at least.
Yeah, exactly. But then you can end it January 1st, and then you put it on Keno, and then you give like Keno an actually like longer title reign.
I'm into that actually. Yeah, that's a good idea for sure. Um, and so we move on. July 15th, special singles match at Korakuen Hall. With no time limit, Kazuhiko Nakajima versus Kento Miyahara. Paul, who's your prediction here?
I'm actually, I've thought about it because previously I was like, would they just go like time limit or whatever here? And obviously now you can't do that. Like with them announcing that, they're like, no, there is going to be a finish here. So, I mean, with Kento not being Indian one, that actually makes this harder, right?
Yep, for sure. That's why I thought he was in the N1.
Yeah,
Because it's a classic trade wins back and forth.
yeah. I mean, but actually, like, and that might be a thing where like maybe Hokuto and Suzuki actually aren't winning, and Nakajima is winning here, and that sets up a title match.
Yep.
That sets up
Honestly,
Axis versus Kento and Yuma.
where do you could you just do that in your Yogi instead of a Triple Crown match?
You probably could, yeah. You probably could just do the Triple Crown match somewhere else and just put this on top.
There's a Korakuen in September as well.
Or you have someone. Basically, you have a Triple Crown match that doesn't need to draw.
No, because Yuma's got all the belts.
Oh right. Oh shit. Yes. Okay. I know they're not gonna have Yuma work double duty. Never mind. Yeah. 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 So yeah. No. That's something you could do there as well. Like because this is a match that draws. Like right.
Yeah.
Like this already draws in Hurricane, so you could probably like if it is like for an actual title, you could probably put that in a bigger building. Yeah. Like your Yogi. I think that would make a ton of sense.
But what's the point, even if Nakajima gets a singles win over Kento, of just bringing back Axis to lose in a big match like that and not win not win any tag titles in any company.
I mean, who says they're losing?
That's true too. That's very possible. Although, didn't Mark Pickering hint, like, what tag teams do you want to see if they bring the Global Tag League back? Like a month or two ago or something like that? Which makes me wonder if,
But when do you do that,
that's
right?
happening.
But when do you do it? Like they
You do
already do
that like
it.
the same time you do that basically the same time All Japan does it, or maybe start in October a little earlier.
But they haven't done that in the past, right? Like in the past, that was like a spring tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I maybe I wouldn't give too much on that, to be honest. I don't know. Like it doesn't really feel like Noah is really building up to like a tag tournament because they don't really have that many tag
No.
teams right now. Especially
No, they
with
don't.
Kongo gone, like you don't even have like the Soya. You don't even have the Soya
No.
and Kano
Well, let's see.
team
You
anymore.
got Saxon and Thatcher.
Yeah,
Probably Hideki and Taniguchi.
yeah.
You have Axis.
Do you still have
You've
Fujita
got
and Tanaka? Like Tanaka hasn't really been
oh
around.
you put Danga and Yankees back together too.
That would be good. Yeah.
And then you have Kitamiya and Inaba, or Kitamiya and Inamura.
hmm I think they might be pivoting
You
to
got
like Soya and Inaba actually.
yeah. So you got a few teams there. You would probably do Jake and
But do
Anthony
you
Green,
really
or
want
Jack
to do
Morris
it
and Anthony Green.
another tournament like so soon after the N1?
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm not sure what this means. I mean, I'm assuming this is the first step in something.
Yeah, I hope so as well. I feel like if Kento
Yeah.
wins, it's not. I feel like if Kento wins, it's just over. But again, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Nakajima is winning this, and then it sets something up.
Is this Nakajima being like, okay, I'll just put you over. I'm sorry.
Maybe. I
Is
mean,
this all this is?
in that case, it might actually be like a thing to like employ to like lure Kento to Noah, where like it's like here, you can just beat the shit out of me, and here's a bag of money. Please come over and draw some
Yeah. Yeah. And then also on the show, we've got Hayata, Rey Escorpion returning. Oh, so it's Hayata, Rey Escorpion, and Dante Leon versus Drillistico, Ninja Mac, and Amaska. I feel like this could be good or a train wreck.
Yeah, I mean Rey Scorpion and there, I feel like that he will keep things under control, but they settled him with like a pretty like wet back of a team there.
Yeah. Uh, and then you've got Jazzy Yang and Miyuki Takase versus Hibiscus Me and You.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I saw Jazzy Yang once, and I've heard that she's not very good, but I've also looked at her cage match yesterday, and she's been working pretty steadily. So I can only assume she's improved.
Hopefully.
So I don't think this will be a disaster.
Yeah, but she also feels like I don't know, like she feels like a female Leona, basically.
Well, yeah, because the next match is Jimmy Yang, super crazy, Stallion Rogers versus Anthony Green, Yohei, and Tadasuke.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. What other company will let foreigners bring in their nepo babies?
Noah does that all the time, man.
Yeah, because Lancelot has not been back though.
For now, we'll see about that.
I mean, Lancelot might even be a better project to try to improve than Drolistico. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
I have not been particularly impressed with Drolistico, and I think he's probably at where he's going to be for his career.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then we have the Yu Owada debut match, Yu Owada versus Kai Fujimura. And so Yu Owada is 178 centimeters and 85 kilograms. So he's big enough to be a heavyweight in Noah.
I mean, to be fair, like, yeah. I mean, he's right at the cusp, and I mean, if he's already 85 kilograms right now, like, he will probably like put on some muscle and everything. Like, I think he's definitely
born August 12th, 2000.
So is that after the split?
Yes, like a couple months.
So does that mean he's like the first Noah trainee that is born after the creation of Noah?
How old was? Oh, I was gonna say how old is? Yasutaka Yano.
That's the
He's
only
pretty
other one.
young.
Yeah.
I think he was. Hold up.
Let's see. Yasutaka Yano, he's 22
Oh,
now.
August 8th, 2000. August 8th, 2000.
Okay.
I've also have August 10th, 2000. So anyway, the point is, he's born the same month
Yeah.
as this.
Hopefully this
thing,
won't go the
so-
same way.
Yeah, hopefully not. Well, how old is Taishi Ozawa?
I think Ozawa's a bit older, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we're finally getting post Noah split.
Yeah.
Young people.
Yeah.
In the company, which is a good thing.
Mhm.
But they can't get it. Well, it's getting harder and harder and more implausible to be like, I grew up watching Misawa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, like you have to like start pivoting to people being like,
Kaito wasn't even that old.
no.
When he would have been watching Misawa.
Kaito was like
anything
as like
that.
a baby watching Misawa, basically.
Yeah, so that's not gonna fly
No.
anymore.
You have to start pivoting to like, oh yeah, I watched like Kenta and Marufuji and Go Shiozaki, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's not a bad.
No, that's great. People like to like try and emulate or like to like wanting to emulate.
Oh, Ozawa was born in '96.
Ooh, he's a
Right.
lot older than I thought he was.
Yeah. What's with these older guys? Them graduating these older guys in their mid-20s. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Because Okada and Inamura were
Yeah. I hope
both
maybe they
mid-20s too.
finally like learn some lessons and are like maybe we should like build this up quicker.
You got to get them right out of high school.
Yeah. I mean that's basically what
Or
all
like
Japan has been doing, right? Because like Yuma made his debut like I don't know when he was like what
19
yeah,
years old.
exactly. He was a baby basically.
Same with Atsuki.
Yeah.
And I mean, Anzai's like 23, so he like just finished university.
Yeah, but still, like, I mean, it's not like they're like waiting on him. So
So not like 26, 20. Yeah, exactly, right. He'll be far ahead by the time he's 27. Where
he's probably already
Ozawa
gonna
is.
have like won the Triple Crown by that time.
Yes. So that's Pro Wrestling Noah. Do you have any final thoughts on the company?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, like Noah is in a weird spot where it's like, I don't know, it feels kind of just there in a way. Like it feels like very much in a holding pattern. Like I agree that they're like refreshing a bit with like with the N1, but it's also like, well, it's literally just moving the average, like it's a younger tournament than last year, but it's also just moving the like average age from like 45 to 35. So
Yeah.
it's weird to call it like a youth movement when it's all like, but at least they're moving to people in their prime rather than people past their prime. So I guess that's a positive.
Right.
But it's still like the promotion feels just in this weird holding pattern, and like we'll see where they go from here. But it's like it's in a very weird spot right now. Like I don't want to call it bad because I think the roster is too good to say
No.
they're bad, but they're just kind of
Yeah.
there at the moment.
Yeah. I think the N1 will be very, very clarifying for a lot of things to figure out what's happening with Keno and Go and
Yeah.
Nakajima and
Yeah.
everything like
Yeah.
that. But I mean, I think the shows are less of a slog to get through these days, I think, than they were maybe a year ago.
Oh, yeah, no, because like I feel like they not freshen, but like I feel like the junior division minus Hayata is in like a better spot and everything. Like if you just subtract all of the like, I know that that's like the biggest thing going right now, basically in the junior division is like Eita and Hayata versus Stinger, but outside of that, it's actually a good division. If we just ignore the main event, the junior main storyline, it's good. Oh, that feels like such copium.
Yes. Yeah. And before we're not done, Paul, we've got some very special coverage Maybe you can guess what company we're about to talk about. Is it the greatest company ever?
I mean, it might
Or
be
just a
with what
company?
they've announced recently.
Yes, that's right. We're talking about GLEAT that has made it. Look, I got to say, people didn't think we were going to get to the 2nd-year anniversary. A lot of people didn't think so. And yet here we are.
With record attendance too.
Yeah, 1,279.
I know, but still.
Although it looked kind of full though. They had like people up on the upper deck and everything like that. I mean,
I mean, like,
I know.
because it's still not quite sure what the actual like maximum attendance is for like wrestling in the building.
No. Yeah, at Tokyo Dome City Hall.
Yeah. Because you can, in theory,
So-
fit 3,000 people in there, but that's standing room only, so like that wouldn't work for like a wrestling setup. And I have seen figures as low as like 1,600 as like a max setup, like based on the size
Wait,
of the
you know
stage.
who had their first ever show? You know what company had their first ever show in Tokyo Dome City Hall?
The first, well, great.
No, Wrestle One.
Oh, they did as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So actually, let me just go here on Cage Match real quick. They drew 20. They announced. Well, they announced 2,500.
Okay, but that's probably like a work number. So I would feel, but I feel like probably then it's like 2,200 or something feels like a realistic number then.
Paul, do you know what the main event of the first ever Wrestle One show was?
Something involving Muto versus Kai.
Yep. Nope. Bob Sapp and Keiji Muto defeat Rene Dupree and Zodiac.
Ooh, that's
who's
such
Aaron
a
Aguilar.
Muto match. It's such a Muto.
It is such a Muto.
That is an absolute, like, no one else would book that. That's like, if you want to have any questions who was booking this, you just need to look at that main event and you know immediately who's booking this.
No, the semi-main event was Kai defeating Sonata.
Yeah, that's like one. Well, that's like a facing of future Open the Dream Gate champion versus future IWGP World Heavyweight champion.
And no one could have ever predicted either of those back at that point.
No, and one of them it was even like a good draw while he was champion. And over.
All right, so we'll go to the show. So the first half was G Pro Wrestling, and then the second half was UWF. I'm sorry, excuse me, Ledet UWF. Did you ever see that tweet where they're like, "No, you have to call it Ledet UWF"?
Yeah, it's like, come on, fuck off.
I mean, they'll get sued probably. I think it's for trademark
Yeah.
reasons, but still, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is very funny.
So first off, we had Yan's family of Issei Onitsuka and Yusuke Kodama defeating Shigehiro Irie and Junji, who's one of those OWE Chinese wrestlers.
Is he? Because he's a Chinese wrestler, but I looked at his like profile and he never wrestled for OWE.
Oh, I assumed he was OWE when I saw China.
Yeah, because I did as well, and then I looked it up, and because I was like, oh yeah, okay, is he like one of the OWE guys? And I looked it up, and he's not actually an OWE guy, which I think says a lot about that whole, because that promotion's failure is kind of directly related to like the creation of GLEAT, and I think that says a lot that those guys they bring in someone from China that's not an OWE guy.
Well, okay, what's more responsible for this promotion, the pandemic or the closure of the end of OWE? Because Strong Hearts might have been around in AEW instead and working AAA.
Probably. I mean, I think actually the other thing that is very important in the creation of GLEAT is Ledet selling Noah through Cyber Agent, because that gave them the money to start GLEAT.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned this because I went to the OWE shows in Toronto on SummerSlam weekend 2019, and Junji wasn't one of the guys there, but I just assumed he was an OWE guy. I saw Gao Jingjia, who was amazing, and I wish they would bring him.
Yeah, but I don't know if
China.
those guys are even still wrestling. That's the thing, because like
Yeah,
I don't know
the
like
thing.
how much you followed like OWE when it was like in its downward spiral. Because they started running shows, I think, in like Cambodia. Like it got really weird.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. So anyway, good opener, only 447, but you know, I mean, I really like Onitsuka. I think he's so great.
Yeah. And it's also
It's kind
like,
of a weird
Irie as well. Like I think this was like his big return from his like long ass like European excursion, and he's like in a 4-minute opener.
Right. Well, the thing is with it's a weird company to do a junior title in, but I mean, someone like Onitsuka would be perfect for that,
Yeah.
or a secondary singles title.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to give him the T-Rex,
No.
but he would be a great secondary title holder, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I feel like he's definitely someone where they should do something with him. I feel like he's kind of like wasted in these kinds of openers.
Yeah. And then next we had G Pro Wrestling Lucha World. Quiet Storm, a luchador, definitely.
Yes.
Galeno Del Mal, Hanaoka defeated Emperador Azteca, El Benedito, and Mizada in 8:34 with the Galeno special from Galeno on Benedito. I mean, it was fun, but it wasn't that much either.
No. I mean, Galeno Del Mal.
Yeah, of course. That's the highlight, right?
Yeah. I mean, Hanaoka was also kind of the highlight. Like, I don't know how much you follow, like, Secret Base.
I do not.
Okay. No.
Well, I know of it.
Yeah. But, I mean, Hanaoka is actually, like, a guy that, like, wrestled, like, in Mexico a lot. Like, he's, like, an old, like, Toryumon guy. Like, he's, like, a guy that started with, like...
Was he Toryumon X?
No, I think he actually was, like, after, like, Toryumon was, like, transitioned to, like, Mexico. I think he actually, like, started after the split, I'm not super versed on it. But like the important thing about him is like you saw like the t-shirt he was wearing, right? The Los Sapones del Mal shirt.
Yes.
Like that was like a long-term tag team he had in Mexico. You want to take a guess who his tag team partner was?
I have no clue.
Dookie.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, he was Dookie's tag team partner in Mexico. And then he came back to Japan, and then he's mainly been in like Secret Base and doing like the drinking streams on Secret Base that got watched by like 2 people.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
You always feel like I'm subscribed to the Secret Base YouTube channel, and then
so am I actually.
Yeah, I also never watched them, but then I see like the stream ended and it has like 7 views, and it's like, oh man.
And then next up, G Pro Wrestling G Infinity title. Jun Saito and Rei Saito defeated Kaz Hayashi and Minoru Tanaka in 11 minutes and 4 seconds with a diving body press from Rei on Tanaka for their first defense. I looked at the cage match ratings for this match, and they were like middling. But I really like this. I think this is in the upper echelon of, I mean, obviously there's a limit, but I still think this is in the upper echelon of Saito brothers matches.
I mean, I thought it was fine. Like, I don't know. I didn't think it was like super special or anything. It was just a bit there. I'm just kind of curious where this whole like Saito thing is going.
Yes, there's not a lot of guys that could credibly beat them in this company.
I mean, I definitely think it's a good idea from like all Japan's perspective, where you give them some exposure to like having titles and see like how they like adapt, and then you can make some calls for your own promotion based off of that.
Yeah. There's no way that All Japan's letting them lose to having a junior pin one of them.
No, they're not gonna have them lose to Kaz Hayashi or Minoru Tanaka. I mean, despite the fact that Minoru Tanaka is technically a champion in All Japan, that belt just dead.
Yeah, he disappeared. It'll appear. That happens from time to time.
Yeah, but he didn't even come out with it, did he?
Oh no, I don't think so. Yeah.
So we'll see. But
do they have new challenge? I could see like someone like Kawakami pinning one of them or something.
Yeah, like a Bulk Orchestra team. I think is like they're like believable.
Yeah. They didn't have challengers set up, did they? I don't remember.
No, I mean maybe I would assume that they're gonna do something for the Sumo Hall show.
Well, it was announced that the G Infinity will be defended at Sumo Hall.
I mean that's gonna be the Ibushi match. That would be so funny.
It would be amazing. And then next up we had Michiko Miyagi AOI. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's AOI. Aoi. Risa Sera and Janai Kai defeated Yukari Hosokawa, Unagi Sayaka, Itsuki Aoki, and Raideen Hagane in 7 minutes and 48 seconds with a tombstone piledriver from Miyagi on Hosokawa. Miyagi has returned to great, and she's now a heel. I thought this was actually good. I don't like a ladies 3.25, but it was just like a sprint, get your shit in and everything, and it was perfectly fine.
Yeah, and I think it was more about like basically like it really like making clear that like Miyagi is a heel and all of that. So, and I
Yeah, and
think
she's back
she's
and everything.
so much better as a heel as well. Like I think it just
Oh, for sure.
it just works so much better, and so like she like challenged.
Well, I mean,
Hmm?
and she's a serious heel now
Yeah.
because like a lot of people did not like the Andres Miyagi gimmick
Oh
in
no,
Stardom and everything like
was
that.
also was not very good. No, that no, but I feel like this is working a lot better, and then I think she challenged Unagi afterwards as well. So
Yeah.
and she's gotta have like a new ring
Of
name. I
course.
think I saw someone like translating that.
Mm.
I hope it's not
Okay.
Andres
Yeah.
again. Oh God, that will be so bad. Just go back to that.
Uh, Unagi is everywhere.
Yeah, she's getting booked by like everyone.
I mean, she's a draw.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to overstate that, but she is.
yeah. No, no, no. Like I can very much understand why like people are like booking her, and she's really good
She's in
too.
the Fire Festival.
That is to be fair, that is the weirdest one out of all of them, where she like they just put her in the Fire Festival.
Mm-hmm. And then next up, G Pro Wrestling 60 Seconds versus Bulk Orchestra losing unit dissolution match. Ryuichi Kawakami, Hayato Tamura, and Chek Shimatani defeated Kazuma Sakamoto defeated Tetsuya Izuchi, Jun Tonsho, and Keiichi Sato in 14:21 when Hayato pinned Izuchi with the Hayato Orchestra. I thought this was good, but 60 seconds just feels like geeks.
Yeah,
And they've been booked like geeks. They never win.
yeah,
And like Yu Iizuka and especially Izuchi have done tons of jobs to outsiders.
yeah.
I don't love it.
No, but I also feel like maybe that's like a good idea to like break up the faction, and then maybe you can do something else with them, because I feel like the 60 second. Like I thought I
Right.
liked them
So
at the
Yu
beginning,
Iizuka
but
wasn't in. Yu Iizuka wasn't in 60 seconds, was he? No, he wasn't. Sorry, I was
no.
wrong about that. But Izuchi does
Izuchi,
tons of
yes,
jobs to
yes,
outsiders.
he does as well. So no,
Um,
I feel like this was a good idea to maybe like end it. Like I liked the concept originally, but yeah, I don't know. And they were just kind of there mostly. And I feel like was this match kind of like a full-on face turn for Bulk Orchestra by the end?
I think by the end of the show.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
basically like the promo that like Tamara cut and everything, like that very
Yeah.
much felt like, and then them like raising like the arms of like afterwards as well, the 60 seconds
Yeah.
guys. So yeah, like this felt like they're actually like a face faction now, because obviously like Black Generation, like International, are like the clear heels, obviously.
Yep. Next up, G Pro Wrestling Premium 6-Man Tag Match. Al Lindemann, Kento Miyahara, and Chihiro Hashimoto replacing Commander, who's replacing Bandito. Bandito was booked for AEW or something, or ROH, and then Commander had visa issues. So that's what happened there. Defeated Yutani, Flamita, and Kotaro Suzuki in 10 minutes and 8 seconds when Lindemann used a Tiger Suplex hold on Yutani. I mean, this was a lot of fun. Kento was like incredibly over, of course. One of the biggest stars on the show, really, just from the crowd reaction and everything like that. But I mean, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. A lot of mugging for the camera, and a lot of fun, and the heels eating shit and everything.
Yeah, it's also always interesting with Yutani, and like, so it's so weird to just hear corn on a Japanese wrestling show. Like it's always kind of it's always kind of jarring, because it's like you get like the vibe of like mid 2000s like American indies.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, match was good. Match was good though.
Oh yeah, and then in the G Pro Wrestling G-Rex title main event for that division, T-Hawk defeated Soma Watanabe in 18 minutes and 16 seconds with the Night Ride for his second defense of the title. This is pretty good. I would say this was better than his match against Chek Shimatani, but not as good as the match against Kaito Ishida where he won the title. I thought Watanabe looked good. I thought they worked a hell of a pace for 18 minutes. I don't know. For Soma, I just feel like he's treading water, though.
Yeah, I never really got the feeling that he had like any chance of winning, which I think hurt the match
No.
for me as well, where I was just like counting down the time until like T-Hawk does his comeback and then hits the night right and wins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And then afterwards, Hayato Tamura came out to challenge T-Hawk.
And I feel T-Hawk is losing.
That will not. Oh, I would. Yeah. You got to pull the trigger
Yeah.
on Hayato Tamura
Because
now.
he's clearly
and
like
on
the
Big
guy.
Show.
Like he's the guy. I mean, he's clearly been the guy that they've been building to as well.
Yeah. He'll be the first Grand Slam champion of GLEAT if he wins.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, hey, he's a two-time world champion at that point.
Yes. Yeah. And he had that long run with the tag titles. So I think it's his time.
Oh no, I think
I always thought they were gonna. Yeah. I always thought he was gonna get that push. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
You obviously had to placate Shima by giving his boys title runs at first.
But,
you know.
Yeah. No, but now
probably
now
had
you
to
can.
lure Kaito. And probably had to lure Kaito Ishida over.
Yeah.
By giving him a title run.
Yeah. But like this was always building to like Tamura, like I kind of feel like I think they did well with like having him build character with the heel run and everything, but now like he's very clearly a face. And it's time for him to like become the ace of the promotion. I think that was always the plan from day one, was for him to become the ace.
Yeah. And then in GLEAT UWF rules, Maya Fukuda defeated Azusa Inaba in 5 minutes and 5 seconds by KO with a right high kick. I just thought this was not bad. They just kicked the crap out of each other for 5 minutes. And is this Inaba the sister of Tomoka Inaba?
I don't know.
Because Tomoka Inaba came out.
I mean, I guess in that case, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I've never seen this. I had never seen her before, like this Inaba before, so I don't know. I mean, it makes sense.
She doesn't have a cage match profile.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she doesn't have a cage match profile or anything, so yeah, I don't know. Which is also why you could get someone to actually put Fukuda over.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, hey, Miyagi put her over too, but that was for storyline reasons, so that doesn't count really.
I mean, Hosokawa did the job in her match to the other great woman, but this is like a rare show where there's multiple great women getting wins.
Yeah. And I mean, aside from the Saitos match, right? It's like all of like the great guys actually won.
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. Sorry, I forgot about the most egregious one.
Oh God, yes. All right, we had some technical difficulties, which also involved me forgetting to record things again. So this is our second attempt at this. So we're going to fly through the rest of this real quick. Paul, the UWF tag match, Ayato Yoshida and Yu Iizuka versus Hikaru Sato and Shinya Aoki. I mean, I liked it enough. I liked Aoki's performance in this, but I thought it went a little too long. And you had some thoughts about this as well.
Yeah, I didn't like Aoki's performance in this because he felt like too cool for school in this, and he was just like laughing and being like, "Look at the silly pro wrestling thing I'm doing," and I really didn't like that. And I also thought the match went just way too long, and it shouldn't have been on this position of the card. Like, I think they should stop doing the strict split because this was not a worthy semi-main event for the show.
Right, yeah, card placements was questioned, and you have to question why not start with the UWF stuff at first.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I get why they wanted to have like the main event be the main event, but like this still felt like such a weird thing because the card like it felt the show ended, and then there's like this new like opener here, and it's like it's weird.
And then we had in the main event, Fujita Junior Hayato defeated Takanori Ito for the GLEAT UWF World title in 9 minutes and 18 seconds via referee stop. He captured him in his KID submission hold. This was actually pretty great, like hard hitting, all action, and I really liked it. But the booking decision was horrible.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I like the match as well. Like I mean, these are two great wrestlers, so no surprise there. But the booking is just baffling, where they do this whole tournament to crown the first champion of the UWF division, and then they just immediately drop him out to an outsider in his first defense. Like it's just like I have a feeling I know why they're doing this because I think they're doing Hayato vs Ibushi at Sumo Hall.
Yep.
But like basically, you do some short-term gain by like having like a big match on the Sumo Hall show, but at the same time you did some long-term damage to one of your own guys in Ito, because neither Ibushi nor Hayato are like your own guys, really.
No. I mean, and Ibushi's a big question mark. Like, how long do you get him? Who does he job to if he loses the title, and can his body hold up? But if he's doing UWF style matches, maybe that's best for him at this point.
No, yeah, no, like that helps his body like hold up, because he doesn't have to do flips and all of that. Can just do some nice mat work, do some strikes and all of that. So yeah, it's good for him, and I think him and Hayato are gonna have a burner if they do that. So definitely. But
I mean,
only
realistically,
one other.
sorry, I was gonna say the only way to salvage this is to have Ito beat Ibushi.
Yes, that's literally the only way you can salvage this, where it's like you put the title on Ibushi, like maybe have him have a few defenses, and then Ito beats him as like the redemption story. That would work, but yeah, otherwise I think like I don't know if Ito will really ever recover from this in any other way. So that's questionable.
Yep. And then just quickly announced for the Sumo Hall show on August 4th, we have Kaz Hayashi, Minoru Tanaka, and Shima versus Juntan Sho, Atsuki Aoyagi, and Hiromu Takahashi. That'll be great. Masakatsu Funaki will be there. It will be Quiet Storm's 25th anniversary as a wrestler. And Hayato Tamura versus T-Hawk, as we already said. And Minoru Suzuki will be there. And they said that he would be specifically in a Lidet UWF match of some kind. Paul, do you have any actual closing thoughts now that we're finally getting to the end of the show?
Again, yeah. I mean, great is a nice promotion. Well, it's something that no one else has heard so far. But you said as well that you're like energized about Puro right now, and I feel the same way. Like, there's a lot of nice stuff going on. Got some like Big Japan to catch up on, like the last Okabayashi match before his hiatus, some Fortune Dream, like Tenryu Project. Like, there's loads of interesting things going on now that like, and it feels at the very least that like I think attendances at least somewhat are starting to recover, because we just had like All Japan draw like above 1,000 at Korakuen. Like this was like the biggest ever like great attendance, and then like the Dragon Gate like Kobe World actually drew like 500,000 people, 5,000 people, 5,000 people. And I mean also like I've seen like in like other like arenas, I've seen some like promotions starting again to like actually announce like super no vacancies, which I don't think we've seen like in a while.
Very rare. Very
none
rare.
of the shows were. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good sign. So we might have something planned for you next week, but we will definitely be back right after, like a day or two after Nakjima versus Kento, because that's a match that's 10 years in the making. And I think we're going to have a lot to say about it. And I'm pretty confident that there will be like there'll be some sort of direction about where this is going after that, from that show too. So for Paul Vosh, I'm Gerard Trolio, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hello, do you like New Japan Pro Wrestling? Are you a Shin Nihon freak? If so, check out the Super J-Cast with Joel and Damon on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
And even if you fucking hate New Japan Pro Wrestling, listen to the Super J-Cast anyway. Not just for our great show reviews, analysis, and pastrami sandwiches, but there's also usually some dick jokes somewhere in the obligatory opening 30 minutes of absolute nonsense we chat about every single week. That's the Super J-Cast for all the best talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, crisps, and pornography.
Hola, hola. My name is Ricardo. I am the host of the Lucha Jovers podcast here in the Voices of Wrestling podcast network. We are a Spanish-speaking show dedicated to discussing and analyzing pro wrestling from all across the world. From AEW to CMLL, we talk about American wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and of course, Lucha Libre. If something big happened in the pro wrestling world, we will talk about it. So if you know Spanish or have a friend that knows Spanish or want to practice your Lucha Libre pronunciations, go listen to the Lucha Jovers podcast right here in the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. Nos vemos por ahí.